Now that you have SimVisuals 2 installed and activated, let's have a look at the configuration. There's a multitude of ways that SimVisuals can be configured, depending on your screen shape, how many PCs or projectors you have, and whether you're looking for camera-based AutoCal, geometrically aware RapidCal, or if you're working with a purely manual alignment. Today, we'll be looking at configuring projectors in 4 different scenarios. First, we'll start with one PC with 3 projectors without desktop spanning, and then we'll look at the same setup with desktop spanning enabled. And we'll briefly touch on multiple PCs both with and without desktop spanning. So first, let's have a look at the user interface. And we can create a new configuration by clicking Create a New Configuration, or you can go to Configure, New File, and we'll go Single Machine. So the first step is projectors. So we'll go Add a Projector, and here we can give our projector a name that we're going to refer to it later on. So we can call that left if we like. Here's where we're going to choose our node. At the moment we're only doing one node or one PC. And then for our displays we've got our 3 displays here. Then we've got our display X and Y offset, and then our projector width and height. Then we can also choose our blending gamma, and we can put an IP address in if we're using onboard warping or blending. So let's have a look at our first example. Our first example is a non-span desktop. So a non-span desktop, we've got one PC, and on that PC we've got 3 displays. So when you go to your Windows settings, you can see 3 displays. And each of those displays has a projector attached to it. And you can see in this example that we've got our width and height of each projector is 1920 by 1200, and our offsets in each case is 0. So let's go and set that up in SimVisuals. So if we go back to the user interface, we've got our first display here, display 1. We've got no display X or display Y offsets, and our width and height are already set up for us there. So let's go Add. And now if we go to our next projector, we can call this Center if we like. We're going to choose our second display, and our offsets and width and height are all good already. And now we can do the same thing for projector 3, which we might call Right. And we'll select display 3. And our offsets and width and height are already good. Now that we've got our 3 projectors configured, we can click the More Options button here and then click Identify Viewports. So let's switch over to our virtual environment. So here you can see we've got a curved screen here, which is 180 degrees, and we've got 3 projectors on our curved screen. If I press Identify Viewports, you'll see that now what we've got is we've got a white outline around each projector. So what that's telling me is that we've got all of our configurations in SimVisuals correct. So now we'll have a look at our second example, which is with desktop spanning. So we've got one PC, but this time we've used NVIDIA Surround or NVIDIA Mosaic or AMD Eyefinity to join the 3 outputs into one display. And you can see that our one display there is 5760 by 1200. So that's the 3 lots of 1920 stitched together into one display. And now we've got our 3 projectors. So the difference we've got now from our last example is now we're using offsets. So you can see that projector 1 is offset by 00 because it's the first projector on the left. Now that we've got a second projector, we need to offset this one by 1920, which is the width of the first projector. And then for projector 3, we're offsetting it by 3840, which is the width of the first 2 projectors. So let's have a look at that in the user interface. So now if we go Add Projector, you can see now that we've only got one display there, and that one display is 5760 by 1200. So what we're going to do here is we're going to leave this at 0 because it's our left projector, but we need to adjust our width here because our projector is not 5760 wide, it's only 1920 wide. So now we can add our second projector, and our second projector in this case needs to be 1920 for our X offset, and our width is always going to be 920, so we're just going to need to change that every time. And now if we go to projector 3, this time we're going to go 3840, and our width again is 1920. So again, like last time, what we're going to do is we're going to click more options and we're going to go identify viewports. So I'll just switch over to our virtual environment. This time you can see that we've got one span display here because we've only got the one SimVisuals logo there. And when I go identify viewports, again, we'll see our 3 outlines around each projector. So our next example is multiple IGs. So we'll just cover these briefly. With multiple IGs, we've got our 3 PCs, and each PC has one display. And then each display has one projector. So this is a very simple setup where we've got 3 PCs and we can configure those 3 nodes in SimVisuals, and then each display correlates to one projector. So what we can see here is we've got 3 projectors that are each 1920 by 1200, and all of our offsets are 0. So let's have a look at the same thing again, but this time we've got multiple spanned IGs. So here are our 3 PCs, and then what you can see now is we've got 3 displays again, but this time our displays are 3840 by 1200, and that's because on each PC, so each of these 3 PCs, we're joining 2 lots of 1920 by 1200 into one span display. And then when we look at our projectors, we can see each of our projectors are 1920 by 1200, but the second projector on each PC is offset by 1920. The first one here is at 0, second one's 1920. Again, the first one's 0, second one at 1920. So that's what it looks like when you've got multiple IGs with span displays. So that covers the first step of configuration in SimVisuals 2. Today we looked at adding projectors for both spanned and non-spanned displays, and also with single and multiple IGs. If you have any questions, please head to the help area of the ImmersiveView portal or email sales@immersiveview.com to start a conversation. Thanks for watching.